Hello viewers, well it's time for a little glimpse of some Gran Turismo 7 gameplay as we look at the Deep Forest Raceway making a return. Let's take a look at this lap, and in a moment I'll come on and we'll analyse it together, see what we think. Let's take a look at the lap. So, we've all seen the lap. What do we think about it so far? Okay, so obviously car interiors have had a once over. It's a shame that, as far as we're aware, there's no forward cam. There's no option to remove the steering wheel, and if you're using a wheel, give you that real in-car feeling. Another aspect is the shaking of the cockpit cam, which seems to be introduced here. Now, I'm not keen on that at all. I never really feel it works, because you need to be one with your car. You need to feel the exact width of it at all times. So if your head's moving around in that car, you can't feel where you are. It's completely different to actually being in a car. When you're in a car, you're getting thrown around, but your body has its own suspension. Your eyes have its own suspension. You don't see the shaking. You feel it going through your arms, but your eyes see it all relatively clearly. Even when your head's moving around, you understand clearly where you are in the vehicle because you're actually connected to it, whereas here you're not. So that's the first thing. I'd want the option to turn that off straight away. I don't need all this shaking around camera. Sometimes, as I say, I feel it can unsettle the car. So I'd much rather they added those extra viewpoints in terms of the forward cam, so I can actually see out the windscreen in a more realistic way rather than driving the car from the back seat, which we see here. The graphics externally have a certain washed out feel, and the environment isn't quite as detailed as I was hoping. If you look at the trees, you'll actually see in some cases some of the LODs changing as well in terms of the lighting change as we get closer to those trees. And you'll see some occasional changes here and there. So there's still work to do on the circuit, but it does have a sort of bloomy, washed out look to it at present as well. I hope they just get on top of that. I don't know, there's a feeling about it that feels a little bit bland at the moment. I was expecting a bit more of this circuit. I loved playing it in the older games years ago. It was the various undulation, the flowing style of the course. But also, looking at the tarmac, there's not enough detail to it. There's no lines, there's no markings, there's no tyre marks, there's no different types of you're in a forest, so there might be leaves and grease and different types of tarmac, older tarmac, newer tarmac. The tunnel itself is a repeated texture. It's all very much like a carpet, as I've said before. It's got that sort of carpet feel on the road. It doesn't have that lived-in look. I wanted an older track like this to feel lived in, to feel like there's real development there, and you know, ridges where the cars have gone over, and you know, where the tyres would have left some rubber on the road or some life to the circuit. So it's a strange one, actually. You know, it's fun to see, and you know, graphics are still great. It's Gran Turismo, but it is lacking a little bit of life at the moment, and it's something I'd like to see in terms of the future. And then we'll analyse it when we get a later build, essentially. But yeah, at the moment, I don't know. I just wanted to see something a bit more exciting from it, just in terms of the realism, just that feel, that detail is what I want from that lived-in environment for racing. There's something, when you go to a real racetrack, you know, you look at the curbs and you look at the tyre marks across the curbs, you look at the imperfections. There's a realness to it. There's a realness that the environment brings to it. It just creates the whole environment, and why the tunnels are built the way they are, why the track is built the way it is, how often is the track used. All of that is what goes into building a real environment. We're getting to the next level now, and I wouldn't level some of this against other developers, but we are talking about Polyphony, top of their game, and a track that we've known of for a long time, that we saw footage of over a year ago, and we're seeing it here, and it looks kind of a little bit, I don't know, a little bit rushed in its own way. But I don't know. I mean, obviously I'm excited to play Gran Turismo next year. I'm looking forward to it. It's a bit bloomy. It's a bit washed out. We'll wait and see what the final game is like running on a PS5. But that's it from me for now. Let me do let me know, actually. Do let me know in the comments what you think, what you would like to see. Are you perfectly happy with it? Can you see any room for improvement? Do let me know. And do like and subscribe. I've got to say that supports what I do. And there'll be more from me very soon. Hello viewers, well thanks for watching the video today. Do like and subscribe, it supports what we do. Do become a YouTube member. YouTube Patreon supports all of our content you see on the channel, and of course lots of gaming from retro to modern games. I love it all in terms of racing action. So click on one of the two videos just there to find out more.